can now go and legally pursue these people who had stolen my business, because at the end of the day we had contracts with the developers, which they had breached as well, right? So I could pursue those people directly themselves, and I could pursue the developers as well, and fight a legal case. This is just an opportunity for me to put all that in the past now and create a bigger, better version of the previous business and do it better. So first of all, I created a brand new company. This is 2013 now, One Investments. One Investments, which is now today the largest seller of Dubai property in the UK. One Investments, which has attracted more than £500 million worth of foreign direct investment into the UK. One Investments, whose largest transaction to date is £15 million in a single transaction in London. So, you know, we went from strength to strength. But I started that company on my own, from home. So I winded up all the offices we had for the old company, got everything done, and started working. I went back to day one again. I was doing everything myself. I was doing sales, admin, finance, A to Z, every single role. I was doing it on my own that existed within the company. I was doing every role myself. And first of all, what I needed to do was, I had a couple of £100,000 worth of debt that I had to pay off from the previous business. So literally everything I was making, all I was doing was paying my rent that I was living in, and paying my food, paying my gym. The rest of it, all that money was going back into paying people's debts off, paying people's debts off. And I think probably about 6 months in, I'd paid everyone, no, 7-8 months in, I'd paid everyone's debts off. That was the most important thing to me. I just don't like having debt. You know, I like to do good business. I don't want to be owing anybody money. I always want to be positive. I always want to make sure that anybody who does business with me is winning. So even though the company was winded up, I still had that liability, and I took on that liability. That liability included even my own accountants. My accountants have been the same since I started in business in the UK the second time round, which is 2011. To this day, I've still had the same accountants. I owed them money. I gave them that money as well. In that situation, a lot of people, what they do is they wind up a business and they say, right, all the debt's gone with that business, which is correct, which is true. That is how it should work. But I was not like that. I said, I've wound up the business, but I'm personally now in my new setup going to make that money and pay all these people back, because that's the kind of person I am. That's the man I am, you know. So paid all those people back, everything off, and started this One Investments and started to grow it. So initially it was just me. Then after about a year or so, I brought in my younger brother, who had graduated a couple of years ago, and a couple of other people, and I obviously got a new office, which was in Hammersmith. And then over the years, to cut a long story short, over the coming years, grew One Investments to become the monster that it is today, you know, one of the leading boutique property investment companies in the UK. And so I've got, at the moment, between CPIC and One Investments, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8 family members, direct family members, siblings, parents. My father works with me now, and like cousins working with me. And that honestly has been one of my biggest strengths. Those family members that I now have in the business, everywhere, every department, every different place, family members, that is what really has been a big strength for me. And I really believe, you know, and these are people who, you know, they all came to me young, and I developed them, I helped them, I taught them, I brought them up, and I made them into like replicas of myself in a way. And I've got these like 8-9 machines running around that are just like me. And it's amazing, and that has been one of the keys to our success. But apart from, you know, that one angle, the other thing was that, you know, the lesson to learn in this whole situation, and we've still got more to go ahead, and I'm going to tell you guys about the, you know, where we went from, you know, after One Investments to success, and how CPIC started and where we've gone with that. But the lesson in this whole thing is, and what I've learned, the biggest thing is that if you look at business people, or you look at someone successful and think they're just lucky, or they're just amazing, they've got something inside them that nobody else has, they're just this brilliant person, it's not true. It's not true at all. Entrepreneurship is a very, very, very bumpy ride. It's a lonely place, you know. Think about those times when for a year I was working on my own. I'm not working with anybody else. I've not got any money. I'm just surviving, paying my bills, paying my debts. I don't want to meet anybody at that time in my life. You know, I'm not socializing with people. I've not got any work colleagues. I'm just sat there on my own, right? And that is the commitment it takes. You know, you've got to be willing to sacrifice a lot if you want to be an entrepreneur, and you've got to be ready to understand that the journey is not like you start here and it's like, whoa, straight up. No, the journey's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's a roller coaster and a half. And when I look at my career in hindsight, the where it is so far is that point where I came out of The Apprentice and these guys had basically stolen my business in essence. That was the biggest turning point in my career, because thoughts also came through my mind of, am I really cut out for this? Am I made for business? You know, maybe I should just go and get a job. Maybe I should just just settle down, just compromise and be like, settle for the status quo and be like, I'm just going to get a job and work hard in the job and I'll work my way up. And honestly, out of 100 people, I think 99 people at those sort of situations, that's what they do, right? But that point over there, that was a tipping point. I had gained a lot of experience. I had gained so much insight into my business and into business and how it works. I didn't even know that at that time, that how much experience I had within me, right? And if I left the journey at that point, I would never ever be where I am today. That point where I said, no, I'm going to do it again, I'm going to do it bigger and better, that perseverance, that has made me what I am today. That has made me the successful business person. So don't look at if you're on your business journey, if you're on your entrepreneurship journey, if you're about to start your entrepreneurship journey and you're thinking it's going to be some smooth ride, it's the exact opposite. The most successful people in the world are the ones who have failed the most but just did not accept defeat. Within me, I have built a belief inside me, which is a fact, which is true, is the truth. If I am not willing to accept defeat, I can never lose. I can lose battles, but I can't lose the war. If inside me, I know no matter what you throw at me, no matter what happens in life, I am going to rise again and stand again and win, I can never lose. So that is the belief that you have to build deep inside you, that strong belief in yourself, and the belief that no matter what happens, I am going to keep moving forward. I am going to, regardless of what obstacles come my way, no matter who comes in my way, I am doing this for the greater good. I am doing business to improve the world, to make the world a better place, to give people opportunities. And no matter what comes in my way, no matter what hurdles I have, I will always persevere. So anyways then, moving on from there, made one investment's become this huge success, multi-million pound turnovers, biggest seller of Dubai property, hundreds of millions of money coming into the UK, hundreds of millions of investment going out of the UK into Dubai, huge brand in the market, massive successes. And then I went to Gwadar in Pakistan. It was announced as the gateway city, as the flagship port of the China-Pakistan economic corridor, a $62 billion investment China's made into Pakistan, connecting Pakistan through its northern border to China and all the way down to Gwadar port. And at that time I went to Gwadar, identified this opportunity, and over the years what I'd done was that, apart from my own lifestyle, I'd not really spent much cash. I had saved a lot of cash. I hadn't invested anything in it. So I had a chunk of cash lying around that was accumulating, and I was getting more and more. And I always had random investment opportunities that I could have done, right? Buy a house here, these random things, or buy yourself a luxury house or whatever else, but I never did any of that. I kept that money there. I did make one investment, I invested in a company called Alesco Property. A guy came to me and he was working at a property company as a sales director, and he came to me and he said, look, I work for this company, I generate them so much revenue, I know exactly how the business works, I do everything in that business, and they only give me a small share, I want a larger share. And I said to him, this was our first meeting with him, and I said, well, if I give you a larger share, you're going to say to me tomorrow that, I don't have enough, I want more. You're going to go somewhere else and tell them, I got 20 before, this guy gave me 30, I want 40. So I said to him, what you really want is you want me to set up a business for you, in essence. That's your ideal case. And he looked at me and thought, yeah, shit, you're right. That is what I want. So I funded his business. I put in 50% I put in all the capital, 50% shareholding in mine, 50% was his, which is very generous. Normally people set up a business, if they put the capital in, they'll give somebody like 10, 15, 20%. But again, it's not sustainable. I like to do win-win deals where both people feel like they've got a fair deal, both people feel like they're winning. And me giving him 50% was him winning. You know, at the end of the day, I'm putting the capital in, yes, but he's going to put the time, effort, day in, day out. So I gave him 50% of that business. On that investment, I did about, in 18 months, in the profit that came out of the business, and ultimately he bought my shares out as well, I did about 7-8x on my money, right? So 700 to 800% on my money I got out in 18 months. So I still make small investments like that. Well, not necessarily small, but investments like that into business people who've got good ideas and a proven track record. He had all the recipes for success. He knew the business. He'd been successful in the business. He just wanted to go do it himself. He knew exactly how it all worked. He did a 5-6 year track record doing that business. And, you know, it's a golden solution. Why not? I still do those kind of investments. But the point is that over here is that then I had a load of capital sitting around and I went to go out there to make some personal investments, and the way the developers were working over there in Pakistan, I just did not feel like, you know, it was a secure investment. Just the way the market works over there. And I thought, look, if me as somebody who's a property investor, as a risk taker, as an entrepreneur, if I'm not feeling secure, they must be tens of thousands of people all over the world, if not hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, who identify or understand the opportunity of Gwadar, because it's covered by the Telegraph, the Financial Times. The Telegraph called it the next Dubai, right? Said that China's building its own Dubai. And I said worldwide there must be so many other people like me who know of this opportunity, but they can't themselves, you know, they just don't feel secure investing with these companies. So in essence, I then ended up acquiring my own land and we started our own projects. So what I did was I solved a problem for myself. Right? The problem was that I didn't have a secure solution to invest. So I created a solution which was solving my own problem, but at the same time solving the same problem for hundreds of thousands of other people. And that is what business in essence is. Business is problem solving. You look at a problem people have, you solve that problem, and they'll pay you an amount of money for that problem being solved. Right? So CPIC is the company that was formed out of that equation. We now have more than 500 staff worldwide. We've got 7 offices, and probably by the end of the year we're going to have about 10 offices worldwide, US, UK, Middle East, Pakistan. We've got projects under development of $500 million. Again, by the end of this year we're probably going to add another $1 billion to our portfolio. So, you know, the journey, the game, all of this, if I had stopped at that hurdle when those guys cheated me and I was working in the hundreds of thousands and the small millions, if I had stopped there and said, you know what, this is too much, it's not for me, I would never have got where I got today. And those experiences that over the years of, you know, running an entire business myself, I'm selling myself, I'm marketing myself, I'm admin myself, I'm finance myself, all of those things means that today when I look at my business of, you know, over 500 people, I have done every single role in that business. Nobody can tell me that this is wrong, or you don't know how to do this, or this task takes 6 hours. I can tell them, no, it doesn't. I've done it myself. It takes 40 minutes. Why are you telling me it takes 6 hours? So all of that learning that I did over the years, it's all been part of this build-up of this bigger me that was to come. Track back 5, 7, 10 years ago, I never knew that where it was going to lead me. All I knew was that I'm on a mission to be the best version of myself. I'm working hard and I'm working to be the best version of myself. I didn't know where it was going to lead to, but all of these things that were happening over the years, all of these little pieces that I was learning, it was all part of this grander vision that is now starting to come to fruition that the world can see. And I'm sure there's people out there looking at me thinking, shit man, you know, this guy just went bang, look how quick he did it. But I've been working, I've been in business now at the age of 33, I've been in business for 13 years, you know? Imagine the experiences back to back of traveling the world, working and living in different countries, interacting with different people, failing, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, getting up again, doing it again, over and over again, you know? That is what business is. That is what entrepreneurship is. If there's one key skill, one most important thing that every entrepreneur should learn and know, is perseverance. Write that on your bedroom wall. Write that on the, when you lay down in bed and you look at the ceiling, write on your ceiling there. When you wake up in the morning and you go to your mirror to brush your teeth, write it on your mirror. Perseverance.